and welcome to another episode of Ruby for Noobs. This is a video. This is a tutorial series where I teach the viewer how to program in Ruby. So this is actually my second time attempting to record this because my first time I was just not on top of my game. I was messing everything up and I was getting really off track. So that probably won't be going up. Unless I decide to just for funny reasons, but let's get into this. So there are plenty of things here that you do not understand right now. I will go over each one. So my int, my string, my bool. My ints are like integers. So there are 3 different values you can have in a variable. Well, not 3, but just I actually think there's about 7. Whatever. So first is an integer, which is a whole number, I believe. No, not a whole number. Those 2 things are different. A number that's not like a decimal or something like that. So if you did want a number that is a decimal, then you would want something called a float. Now you don't have to name your variables these things. You can name them whatever the heck you want. But these are just the different kinds of data values. So a float, or what's known as a double, is a number with a decimal point. This basically tells the computer, oh, this isn't just a whole number or an integer. This is a number with a decimal. So, these are used for more precise calculations. This is a string. A string is a line of text. These can be used for, telling things to the user. Or, just telling things to the user in general, like, variable, values, or just sentences, information. This is a boolean. A boolean is a true or false value. No more and no less. So this could also be false. I'm gonna keep it at true for now. The next thing you probably don't recognize is this thing down here. It is a / with an N after it. This means start a new line, which is very helpful when doing like games and stuff, because you don't want to make lots of puts, type puts a lot of times. Instead, you want to do it all in as little lines as possible. So this tells Ruby, display the value of this variable, not the variable name. So instead of displaying my int, with this hash, with this pound sign and then the brackets, inside the brackets you type the variable, and it displays its value. So if I run this right now, it's gonna have an output of the value of my int, the value of my string, and the value of my bool. This can be very helpful, shall I put it, in making complex things. And this /n thing actually works in every language, but not the hash. But not the pound sign and then the brackets. There's different ways to do that, like in JavaScript. I think you have to use parentheses or something like that, whatever. So there are some other kinds of values. There's another one called an array. You might have heard this word in math before. An array is a list of values. So 1, 2, no. Let's do 1, 2.0. If you see me typing a lot of stuff that says banana, I really like bananas. They're delicious. And yellow. Anyway, so as I showed before, those values that I was talking about just now, those can also be stored inside of an array, and they could be accessed. So let's type puts. They can be accessed by using square brackets after typing the variable name. So let's type my array. Let's see what that does. It outputs all of them, all the values. What if we don't want that? What if we just want to output the third one? We would type 3, right? Let's try that. Why did it output true? True is the fourth one. Arrays don't start at 1. Arrays start at 0. With an array, it starts at 0. Then it goes 0, 1, 2, 3. Kind of like that, and so on and so forth. This is because 0 is technically a value. It is not, undefined. So instead of putting 3 here, we would want to put 2. Let's see if that works. It worked. Interesting, isn't it? That can be very helpful when, instead of typing 50 lines of, variables, you could just have an array that has all the values in one. There's another way to do this, and actually name those separate values. It's called a hash, or what's commonly known in Python and JavaScript as a dictionary. So a hash is like new hash. Put it inside curly brackets. So if we do this, first thing we type is the variable name. So first value. Then we type a colon. In past versions of Ruby, like 1.8, which is the version I learned it in. I learned Ruby in. You would use an equal sign and then that, and then a less than sign. But now you have to use this, which involves a lot more functions to be able to edit. Anyway, so let's set it with a value of 1. Let's make a few more. Second value 2, and third value. So, what if we want to display this? Let's try what we did with the array. Put new hash. Say when you want to access the first one. So let's say we want to access the first one. We would do this, right? Let's see if this works. It gives us an error. Now, something I forgot, but I definitely don't want you to forget, is that you have to type a comma after each variable. Otherwise, it sees it as tons of all of this stuff belonging to the first variable here. So type commas, and let's see if it works this time now. No, it didn't. You don't use that. What we actually want to do, we want to access, well, let's just print new hash and see if that works. It listed all these, but what if we want to list a specific one, maybe? What if we do? Or maybe we want to list this on separate lines. So let's do that first thing. Oh, with this, we actually have to type the name, I believe. First value. Let's try that. No, that didn't work. No, did it? Let's try this. Do sim. Will that work? No. Can't do that. I have a perfect example on how to do that. And my computer's lagging real bad. I'm planning to get a new computer this Christmas. Save that. I don't get why it's going so freaking slow. Let's see, how are we doing on time? Okay, better hurry up soon. Wanting each of these episodes to be about, 10-15 minutes each. Come on. Come on. Should have just had this open in another tab now that I think about it. This is something I made for school once that completely astounded all my classmates. So it's kind of an app sort of thing, a mock-up of an app my group in one of my classes thought of. So once this loads, I'll definitely show you it. Now you will also see lots of things that you want to understand, like def or times, as you saw it there, case. So let's look at this. Oh, what does that do? It lets us this whole line actually lets us rename the variable. The value inside. So music playlist is a hash. So we're gonna be adding something. So genre is gets the user's input. So well, here this also creates the variable name. So this is song name.toSim, which turns it into the variable value or symbol, and then genre.toS turns it into a string. This allows you to edit it. Just pretty interesting. This displays all of them. You can't just display one without going in some weird complex stuff I don't want to do. So yes, .each is special. .each lists each of the values in the hash. These are the fake values, I'll call them. So songs is the variable name, and genre is the variable value. Then it puts both of them. And then this down here deletes it. So let's go back and try this out. Say we want to display all of them on separate lines. Once this loads. I seriously don't get why this is so slow. If anybody who's watching this has a good idea of a computer I can buy that can be used for the stuff I like to do, which is programming and some gaming, and it's not, like, super expensive or anything, please let me know. This is getting so annoying. How am I doing on time? Shoot, I need to end this soon. So let's do this. New hash dot each. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can either type do to start it, then end to end it, but you can also type curly brackets. So we're gonna type the fake variables I talked about. So value name, and then just value. Now we're going to put the value name, and then we're going to put value. See what this does. It puts all of these on separate lines. Very interesting. Now let's say we wanted to edit one of these. So new value name. Let's set new value name to getStomp. And let's create another new variable called new value, which also equals getStomp. And then no, not puts. And then we're going to set the new value of new hash. So new hash with new value name dot to sim to, so it translates it to a symbol, which equals new value dot to string. What this says is, so take new hash and have new value name, which new value name dot to sim equals new value dot to s. Let's see what that does. So let's enter a new value. So fourth value and the other one will be 4. Why does it give us an error, huh? Oh. Yeah, Ruby is all about spelling things right, so if you're a horrible speller, don't try this. Don't try this at home, kids. So, fourth value 4. So now let's do that again, except let's have another each. Let's have another each method. So so new hash dot each value name value. Now let's put the value name and then put value. Let's see what this does. So, for value, yes, you have to close these. So, for value for, and it adds that. Isn't that amazing? I sure hope you think it is. That was a total pain in the butt. I still don't feel like I am on top of my game, but this is gonna be as good. This is gonna have to be good enough for now. So, yes, there are integers. I mean, data. The values that you can store in a variable are integers, floats, strings, and booleans, and you can have different types of variables like arrays and hashes. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed it and maybe even learned something from it, please like it so it lets me know that you like these kinds of videos. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.